I'll tell you, I thought fucking industrial bands were supposed to know how to use technology. I thought that was the whole thing.
Oh, I know how to use technology. I just fucking hate life today, so it's fucking me.
Oh,
Oh
buddy, how you
man.
doing?
Good, good. Let me do you want me to be a bit louder?
Oh, mate, you can be whatever volume you feel you need. You look great. You sound great. The man cardigan is a vibe.
Oh yeah. The dad cardi is definitely a vibe, man.
Yeah,
So
get it.
let me pull you onto this monitor so I can actually look at you properly. There we go.
Nice. Yeah, I
Awesome.
said like look down at your Zoom window, and you appeared to look out the actual window, and I was like, oh no, no, Colin.
No, I was trying to because I could see the audio and I was like doing the test. I'm like, dude, I fucking joined. What the hell is going on? Come on, man.
I love it. Uh,
Oh,
so, dude, looking at your upcoming gigs, what can you tell me about the list of seven?
right. So, basically, Blackened Records, putting on this, I guess, let's call it a showcase, if we will. Um, they've done one previously, and I actually got asked to jump on it after another band had to actually drop out, which was obviously unfortunate for them, but I won't go into that side of things
Mm.
because it's not my privy. Um, but yeah, it looks like it's going to be a fun arvo. So there's Ales are playing. Slow Cutter playing. God, there's Hiss. I'm gonna actually have to pull the list up
Yeah,
because off the top of my head, I'm terrible at this
it's
stuff.
a sick poster. Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, it's really rad. Like I love Simon from Blackened, so I'll happily jump on, a show if he needs me to.
Now,
He's
you
always
didn't get
been
put
there
on the
when
list because someone else got Me Too'd or anything, did you?
I
Oh
don't
no,
honestly know. I didn't jump into the specifics. So,
that
but
must
yeah,
be
so
it must
yeah,
be
no,
an
you go.
awkward position. Imagine if, like, let's say, for example, like you had some really controversial person on a lineup, and then they get rid of them because they're just this horrible person. Then you get slotted in their place. How weird would it be? Would it be like you're on special? It's like now remember, don't rape anyone. I'm like, oh, all right.
Yeah, you're like, can you not do anything fucking horrendous, please? Um, that would be the preference. You know what I mean?
Dude,
Um,
like, spare
but
a thought for the
yeah,
spilt milk lineup. Did you see
yeah,
that?
exactly right. Yes, yes, I did see that. I'm just like, oh my God. And
Bruh.
it's the great dudes on what is it? God, last podcast on the left or whatever it is. They keep referring to old mate as DeForvid, and I just keep thinking of DeForvid now, and I can't think of anything fucking else.
Oh
Which is
dear.
terrible because the background to that is obviously
It's not a
we
funny
don't know the
story.
specifics.
Yeah,
It's not a
yeah.
funny story. It's really fucked up and it involves things that probably shouldn't, and it's obviously more malicious than any of us will probably even understand.
Oh man.
Um,
But
so yeah, it kind of
what?
hits
Like,
that thing of where you're like, yeah, exactly right. So you kind of hit that point of like, yeah, fuck that. All right, whatever.
yeah. So
But
mate,
yeah, so for yeah, it should be a good day though. So just to give people specifics while I'm ranting about it,
yeah.
the 25th of October, Norman Park Sports and Community Club, which is actually like a bowls club. So it's a good place. The other great thing is it's one of the few times like all ages gigs are something I grew up playing.
Mm.
Because I was in deathcore bands previously, so I used to sing for Cross the Lips of Grace for a while. Even when I was doing the Schoenberg Automaton on vocals, there was all ages stuff. You could have a PCYC show or whatever. So it's kind of cool to see that as long as you're going with like a Guardian,
Mm.
this works exactly the same way because of it being a bowls club and stuff. So it's like I know it sounds really like old manny of me, but how many chances do people actually get to take their kids who like the stuff? Little brothers, little sisters that might be a younger teen and not over 18 or whatever, but still want to actually get out and experience these shows. There was a lot more opportunities for us growing up than there is for these people.
Oh man.
So I'm all for it, man.
Yeah, yeah. Look, as I have what, a 9-year-old, 11-year-old, or however old they are. I keep getting my kids' ages wrong. But they will. That's going to be me in a few years. I'm going to need to be able to bring them somewhere. So this is fucking cool, man. Yeah,
That's what I mean. So I'm hoping it keeps going and like I'm happy to support and help out where we can. And as long as there's venues too that can actually do this stuff, win.
yeah.
It's always a
Plus,
positive.
if you don't want to mosh, you can play. You can rip out a set of bowls.
Well,
Uh,
that's the funny thing too is like it sounds really silly, but everyone goes on about cost of living problems and other shit at the moment. And they're like one of the last bastions of like 1970s pricing. I know it's not actually
Yeah,
1970s, but you
yeah.
know what I mean? The costs are far less prohibitive and fucked than they are for a lot of venues. So,
Plus, barefoot lawn bowls is actually really fun if you've ever done it. It is
oh,
good.
dude, I've done it a bunch of times. So I'm just trying to get this mic in place. I've done it a bunch of times, and I love it, dude. I absolutely
Ah.
love it. So.
Now, mate, the other big news is that you have a remix coming out. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so I got hit up by a group called New Miserable Experience, which I think is an awesome name. It's actually, from memory, it's a reference to a Gin Blossoms song or album,
Okay.
the old indie kind of alt rock band. Um, but yeah, so uh, I guess trying to keep a longer story shorter, it's kind of hard not to. Many moons ago, when I used to do a lot of tour photography and stuff, I had the great opportunity of being able to help out with Rosetta, doing a tour here a couple of times. So I got to become good friends with those guys, and I don't know if you actually know them at all.
I heard of that.
Rosetta were are, I guess. I've never actually looked into if they're still together or not. I believe they are though. Rosetta, uh, kind of like ISIS,
Mm,
very full on cathartic post metal. Very, but imagine ISIS if it was even more like kind of hardcore DIY aesthetic,
mm,
where it's a bit more heartfelt. They wear it a bit more on their sleeve than those bands do. Um, and I became good mates with those guys. And what ended up happening is they've got a new project called the New Miserable Experience, which is Dave, the bass player from Rosetta, and their drummer Beej or BJ.
mm,
Um, Now BJ's doing drums in New Miserable. Dave is actually the singer for New
mhm,
Miserable now. He's got an absolutely incredible voice. Um, but what's really cool is the band's rounded out by a heap of other heavy hitters. So you've got like their bass player at the moment is one of the former Revocation bass players,
oh, yeah.
which is pretty cool. And then their main guitarist at the moment is actually is it Brody? Let me double check this. So this is where my brain starts to go astray. Um, Brody Udderly, I believe, from Rivers of Nile.
Yeah.
Yes, it's Brody. So basically, you've got a band made up of dudes from Rosetta, X Revocation, current Rivers of Nile, but they're doing new wave. So think like Depeche Mode, Duran, that sort of stuff, but with a
Mm,
modern spin. So they hit me up because their last album, they did a full remix release album shortly after it,
mm.
and they're doing something similar here. So, from what I understand, Friday their time, or it could be for us, but it's usually a Bandcamp thing. It'll be locked to the US
Mm.
region. They're going to be releasing a whole nother set of remixes of their most recent album, which I had the
Nice.
pleasure of being able to do one of those. So I've sent you across the track, so I don't know if you
Mm,
had a chance to check it out or not. It's definitely, it's still dark. It's
mm.
still got my weirdness to it, but I've also tried to make it like the way I described it to them was like driving a Lamborghini on a coastal road during an apocalypse. So you're getting your sunset vibes, but it's still dark.
And there's the quote for the interview. Yep.
So like yeah, it's one of those things where I love remixing people. I love working with people on that stuff. I'm actually checking to see if I can even mention another one because I'm working on another remix at the moment. Um, so I won't say who, but it's a local
Hmm.
band this time, and it is definitely more on the extreme death metal side
Ooh.
that I'm remixing. So um, that one I can tell you about off interview if that makes sense, not for the record because they want to keep it as a surprise
Eh,
for when it
I can
drops.
wait. I'll wait for the press
Um,
release. It's all good.
yeah, but that one's really fun because it's that's more me embracing my Igor and breakcore kind of side of things where you know,
It's
it's
crazy.
very up tempo. The song it's off is like 300 BPM plus, so the remix has got to keep those tempos pretty high, even if you're half timing it. It ends
Nice.
up being extremely quick because when you do the little double time sections and stuff, you're still hitting those 300 plus. But it's also fun because I get to kind of pick things apart, and I love deconstructing other people's
Mm,
creations and compositions. I like making my own music too, but that shit's a lot of fun. Like actually being able to pull apart someone else's work, have access to all their stems, all of
mm.
their mastering, mix sessions, etc. There's something really cool about playing in someone else's piss pool. So like,
Second
you
quote.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, I like using very colorful speech about things because it just makes things easier to understand too for a lot of people because so many people are
Yeah.
like very blank about those things and then you go, actually, no, it's pretty straight up just calling it that. So
Like the army is like, oh, we're not here to fuck spiders.
yeah,
What?
exactly. Like,
Uh,
that's like one of the classics, you say that stuff and people just know that it's serious business time. Uh, or they just think you listen to too much fucking King Parrot nowadays, but that's a whole nother story.
so, mate, um, what was it like performing with Burton C. Bell? Because that's when we met.
That was awesome. Yeah, no, that is when we met. That was one awesome. I don't play live as much as a lot of bands do, mainly because I am more of a compositional solo artist. So I try to keep the live stuff more for when either sounds pretentious and wanky when I want to, or the
Mm.
gig beckons for the right thing. Um, it was insane. Like, one, I'm 40. So I grew up in high school with like obsolete being the shit everyone that liked metal played. So for me it was just like, oh, sick. I get to play with the dude that voiced Edge Crusher, which is like one of the sickest songs of all time. I don't care. I will fight people to the grave on that. Edge Crusher still slams and it's a fucking
Oh yeah,
awesome track.
obsolete
So
is. I've said to Dino before that everyone everyone likes to get on the peg with do manufacture, but I think obsolete is their finest work.
Demanufacture's the heaviest.
Mm.
I think
Yeah.
it's the heaviest. It's the most mechanical. It's definitely got a lot more of that robotic industrial like 808. It's just going
Mm.
whereas like obsolete was like, hey, you guys have actually learned how to also write like your Ministry 9 Inch Nails side to the songs and
Mm.
work it into these really heavy compositions. It's also kind of where they got the Fear Factory sound.
Mm.
Because
Yeah.
whether people want to admit it, Burton was a huge part of that.
Oh,
Like,
hugely.
the reality is his voice is very specific. There are
Yeah.
a few people who sound like him. There probably will be a few people who ever sound like him.
Mm.
And that's
Yeah.
purely because he's someone who sings with his voice, not with a tonality or anything. And that's for
Mm.
love or hate. But no, he was awesome. His band were awesome dudes. He was very down to earth, which I always appreciate. You hear certain things about people's egos and da da da. And obviously, we've all been privy to their legal bullshit and stuff over the
Yeah.
years
Yeah.
and whatnot with the factory. But as a human, artist to artist, the dude's just down to earth. It's very chilled out, very upfront. He didn't seem to really have too much of a filter on anything, which I appreciate. Like, I don't like bullshit. I like having a genuine conversation, and if it feels kind of prohibitive in any way, then you go, oh, for sake, and you sort of start questioning yourself. Um, but no, it was sick. I always love playing the Triffid too, because that venue is just
Mm.
heaps and heaps of fun. I've only done it once with Monsters previous, and that's when I was playing with God, when was that? I want to say 2019 or 2020, and I was the
Mm.
support for Perturbator when he came
Oh
out that
wow.
time. So that was a lot of fun too. Like I love doing that sort of stuff. I would kill to play somewhere like that or the Tivoli supporting Igor or something. So fingers
Mm.
crossed that happens. I have actually seen Igor live, thankfully, so that's a treat. But I caught Igor back in, I'm gonna say 2017.
Hmm.
So it was before he had a drummer, a guitarist live. It was just the two vocalists and him on the decks. Um, and even that was just like mind melting to see that. You're like, yep, you win. You win this
Yeah.
shit, man. So, I've had a lot of luck of seeing a lot of crazy acts that people, particularly in Australia, haven't had many chances purely because of the fact I've done a lot of photography overseas and video work and other stuff. Um, which is great because it lets you see all these bands you don't expect to see and have weird experiences. Like Euroblast, which is the fest I usually would do over there for the couple of years I'd gone over to Europe, is one of the coolest like progressive music festivals, and the lineups just get so hectic. Like I one year was things like Igor and Cynic and stuff like that headlining it, and then the next year it was Frontierer and Car Bomb, and and you're
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like, all right, sick. Yep, that doesn't, you can't really get much heavier, and it's very like almost like our smaller fests, everyone kind of mingles. There's not a
Mm.
huge amount of backstage areaing for people. People tend to come out and actually chill out and stuff, which is cool. So that's always
Yeah.
nice.
That, oh man, when Animals as Leaders cancelled, for
Mm.
their tour in September, I reckon 99% of the audience was more heartbroken that Car Bomb weren't coming.
I actually like, and whether it's true or not, different story. But I actually wouldn't be surprised if, like, because Animals could have kept that tour and just
Mm.
done it themselves and brought someone else. But I think even they knew that a high percentage of people buying tickets, as horrible as it sounds being the headliner, weren't buying it just for them. They were buying it
Yeah.
more for Car Bomb and were happy to watch Animals again.
Yeah, because Animals came here in 23, so they've only just been here. So,
And I haven't been paying a lot of attention to them recently, but have they actually released?
oh yeah, they released an album, Parahesia. So that was what they were touring in 23, and they were great. But
Yeah,
then,
that's what I mean. But
all
there's nothing since.
no,
There's no
no,
new albums, are there?
no,
Yeah.
it was an anniversary for the Joy of Motion, which again, don't get me wrong, it would have been fantastic. The whole night would have just been great. But yeah, like
Oh yeah.
the thing about that poster that got people fucking was Car Bomb.
Like, and they're one of those bands. Their chances of coming over here, I dare say, get smaller and smaller. Particularly as Carbomb get older and older. They're not young dudes. That's what most people don't realize is Carbomb are not young guys.
No.
They've had a fucking brutal career as far as like trying to get people on board. They didn't get
Mm.
people on board until they basically came back later
Yeah.
on. Because I still remember I've got it somewhere in the collection here. I still remember buying Centralia, their first album, in off Relapse's mail distro back when it came
Mm.
out. And I
Oh,
still have
going,
it.
yeah, it's going to say about '07. I think that came out.
Yep.
Yep.
And now I don't know if you ever saw this. Most people probably wouldn't even know it exists, particularly if you're someone who came into Carbon later. Um, I'll find the link for you because it's actually worth sharing. I think it's always relevant. They actually filmed a documentary
Mm.
back in 2009, 2010, I want to say. Could have been
Mm.
slightly later. But the documentary is literally called Why We Do This.
Yeah.
And it's one of the most honest, in the most brutally horrific ways, documentaries you'll ever see about what touring can be like. We're talking everything from not having management, obviously, because they're a smaller band, particularly in that era, getting put on bills with like Wednesday 13 type bands who the crowds are like booing them basically when they come
Yeah.
on stage and play because they don't get the music. Um, Breaking up multiple times on the road. Like it is rough. So if you've never seen
Uh,
it, it's literally like a 70 or 80-minute documentary that they made themselves. It's all just shot on handycam and shit.
yeah.
And it's the most honest look you'll ever see at a band trying to get even remotely any success
Yeah.
and realizing that their music's so fucking cooked that no one understands it. And they're probably a decade ahead of when they should have been at that point, like musically.
Yeah.
So it people didn't really come around to them until like 2015, 2016,
Oh.
and even then that took a bit after that. So it's that sort of bands like that are sick, but holy hell, have they had to work to get
Yeah.
any of that recognition? And yeah, like I
The,
said, I don't believe they're that younger dudes anymore. Um, so
the video for
who
M6
knows?
off that album just knocked me sideways, and the story of Centralia as well. Are
Oh
you
yeah, yeah,
familiar?
yeah. The town and
Yeah. Oh my.
the town. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Jeez. Far out.
Well, it's basically like Silent Hill in real life. It's like, and for anyone who like, if you write this up, if anyone who hasn't seen it, Google Centralia, not the
Yeah.
music, but the city in the US, and you'll see how bad it gets when like open earth mining occurs and isn't
Yeah.
sealed properly. Um,
Lighting a
when they
match off
literally,
asphalt. Yeah. Yeah.
yep, like the idea that like if anyone's ever seen, like, they've probably seen it on memes and shit, those photos of, like, cracked roads where it's, like, welcome to hell written on it with,
Yeah.
like, the roads, but that's actually Centralia. So,
Yeah.
like, it is horrific. It's somewhere you probably would never want to visit, other than for, like, interest. But,
Yeah.
like, as far as I understand, I think no one lives there, or there might be like one or two people who still have property there and maybe live there,
Mm.
but it's like you wouldn't want to because it's not exactly a safe place to live by the sounds of it.
We
It's
have
like
a
been burning underground for like 60 years or something.
we have a town like that in Australia. Midnight Oil wrote a
Mount
song about
Isa.
it called Blue. No, it's that Midnight Oil wrote a song about it called Blue Sky Mine. It is about it starts with a W. It's a
Yeah.
big long
No,
Aboriginal
but
name.
it's a town that got like dumped in like the 80s or the 90s, didn't
Mm.
it? And it just got like
It's off
you can go
every
there. There's
road.
still houses just like yeah, but every
Yeah,
road has been removed. It just goes road, then it ends, and then there's grass for
yeah,
like a couple of K, and there's old houses and crap. I've seen
yeah.
photos of it. It's
And
gnarly.
it's literally like if you drive near it, it is like, do not wind down your windows. Do not stop. There is airborne
No,
asbestos everywhere here. Yeah. It's
yeah,
fucking
airborne asbestos, airborne lead, fucking, which is like part of the reason Mount Isa is now getting like kind of closed up and shuttered is when you start realizing there's lead in everything.
It's like, oh
And in higher
no.
levels than you naturally want, you probably don't want people living near that anymore, nor a mine operating there because it's not like feasibly safe for anyone. As you know, I guess as safe as blasting holes in the earth is. Um,
Yep. So to lead on to the themes of, let's be honest, brain damage and violence.
yeah.
You don't take this the wrong way, but I feel like you could really go on next Halloween. You could pull off Trevor from GTA 5, like really, really well.
That would be sick. I should. I should.
There's a press shot of yours on your Instagram, and I was like, oh my God, that's Trevor. Like, just put a handlebar on him, and that's Trevor.
Well, what's worse is I have had handlebars, so if I just grow it back, it wouldn't be a problem. Like I've literally had the big seedy ones down to there and there and shit. So like I can do it. I can do it.
Nice. Lastly, mate, so Burton and I had a bit of a laugh because right before I interviewed Burton, I had a friend who threw away a 20-year friendship because I wouldn't listen to his AI album. So this is not an album that he has made and has AI visuals. I'm talking a album that has been completely cooked up in an AI program.
Yeah, so yeah, I understand. Like the stuff sort of like basically every major audio YouTuber is talking about at the moment.
Yeah,
The weird stream stuff. Yep, yep, yep.
yeah, and he would have cooked all this up with text prompts and was then like, "Why aren't you listening to my, power metal double album?" And I'm like, "Because I hate power metal, and because it's not your fucking album." And anyway,
Well, the reality is it's going to be derivative of every other power metal band in existence, which
ah,
in turn is funny because every power metal band is derivative of every power metal band in existence.
and
So
it
it's like
just
the catch-22 of stupidity.
ah. So I told Burton this, and he just shook his head and he said, "Well, he sounded awfully proud of an album he didn't make." And I was like, "Oh."
Oh, dude, no. Funnily enough, like Bert and I have not chatted because like the dude's busy as hell. But we do actually send each other random Instagram snippets because I'm sure you've
Yeah,
seen he posts the AI stories, and I'll post back to him and stuff privately because we love having a bit of a jab at each other about that. Because I am 100% AI has no place in music
yeah.
as far as creating the audio content. I also am vehemently against AI for album artwork
Hmm.
because again, that takes away from things, particularly artists or creative intent. I
I've
know there's a lot
literally
of
had it
people who
happen
are
to me.
like,
Yep. Go
yeah,
on.
and people go, oh, but you know, I did the whole cover and tweaked things, and then I used AI to fix this up. And it's like in the time you learnt the AI, and I'm going to sound like an old facetious, like I'm literally Clint Eastwood on his deck in Gran Torino right now,
Yeah.
rocking in my chair,
With slightly
going,
less
get off my
racist.
lawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, slightly, a lot less racist, but saying get off my lawn because of the fact that, like, I get what they're saying, but you're removing the acquisition of talent and knowledge that you're supposed to achieve getting better at music.
Mm,
To be perfect straight away is not music.
no.
It's just not. To claim perfection ever is stupid. But the one place, and I have used AI, like I'll be honest, the one place I've used it is a very, very, very specific thing. Now, what that is for the music video I did for the song Glass Cannon with
Hmm.
Jorgen off the latest EP. Um, that video, is stock footage I've purchased and acquired.
Mhm.
So that's fine. I've been a music video director like most of my adult life, so I know how to make a proper video. That's
Mm.
not a question. But as a solo artist, I'm like, where can I cut some corners to save time on things? Now, the
Mm.
one thing I am okay with is AI as a tool to replace certain time-consuming tasks and creation. But it doesn't remove the artistic intent.
Now, are you talking about like separating stems and things? Because I've heard that there are programs like that in AI. So I do a lot of graphic
No,
art. I think like just being able to click a button and
so
say remove background as opposed to use 20 minutes of
oh,
less doing.
so
Mm.
there are things available with AI. So basically, what I did is I've bought stock footage. There were physical people actors in place in a lot of those, like someone just looking stoic off in a business suit or
Yeah.
whatever. But I've never had the time to learn how to rig 3D models,
Mm.
um, put CG and stuff at a high level or even a
Mm.
remotely decent level. Um, but what you can do is you can now get trained AI that will use that actor in the shot to create your tracked reference points. And then you can replace it with a rigged model. Voila.
Wow.
So that's not,
Wow.
to me, that's not cheating because you still have to have the artistic intent. You still
Yeah.
have to have the physical assets have to be there. You're not
Mm.
using AI assets. All you're using is AI to algorithmically plot the data points that you're using for tracking to
Mm.
replace. To me, that's okay.
Well, that's software.
That's
That's
not taking a
literally.
job away for. Well, it's not taking a job away because I don't have $5,000 to pay someone to do that. So it's not
Yeah.
actually taking a job away. You know what I mean? Like, if I were like Ronnie Radke, yeah, that's questionable. That's why that guy actually goes to big companies and fucking gets
Mm.
whatever ninja flipping video he's releasing. Because I pay a lot of attention to like the visual effects community. So I
Mm.
do know what other artists are doing and stuff with things. But like, yeah, if you're an independent artist and you're trying to create content and you're like, I have a vision, but that vision can only be achieved if I had $50,000, maybe
Mm.
rethink what you can achieve with less, but also where your artistic integrity needs to still be retained.
Yes. And actually have some creative. Yeah.
Yeah, like I would never use it for, like I said, I'd never use it for my actual music. That is all written. I mean,
Mm.
technically, I use a lot of electronic stuff, so there are percentages that are sample packs, but you're reinterpreting, relooping, reconstructing.
Mm.
That's no different to someone composing with MIDI. That's not AI. That's just using the tools you have at hand.
Mm.
But I'm 100% with you. I have no interest in AI created music. I don't want to watch a whole movie in AI. It just doesn't interest me.
Yeah.
I know they're getting crazier and better, but there's certain limitations that will always exist, and you still need to have that creative element. Otherwise,
Uh,
it will just look like everyone else's slop, and that's just
they
the reality.
came up recently with a an AI actress. I don't know if you saw this
Oh,
recently.
yep, yep,
So it was a
yep.
teenage girl, and someone quite brutally put out with, "Wow, all this technology, and the first thing Hollywood does is create a teenage girl who can't say no." I went, "Oh!"
Mm, yeah, well, and the sad reality of like in the ages of Weinstein, Epstein, and whatever Steins, apparently, if you
Yeah,
have to have that last, I don't get that. That's weird. I only just thought about that. It's kind of bizarre that they're yeah. Um, but like the reality is, there's only so much you can achieve before you lose what your creative stuff is.
yeah,
So, like, focus on what you're creating, how you're representing it, get there however you can. But if your actual content that you're trying to present, which in music, whether it's a music video, concert format, or whatever, is your performance, your music, that should be you.
mm,
That should be 100% compositionally you. I don't care if you program the guitars. Like some of the coolest gent albums, if you want to go into that subgenre, are stuff like oh god, now I'm gonna draw a blank. The American Indian guy who's a drummer. God,
are we
it's gonna
talking
annoy the hell
periphery?
out of me.
No.
He was. I think he played live for them. Give me one sec. I need to find this because this is gonna annoy. Because where is he? Oh, this is gonna annoy the hell out of me. I will find it though, and I'll let you know because it might be something like we can plot back in. Um, it is Anup Sastry.
Hmm.
So if you've never heard any of his solo albums, it's like sick gent guitar over him drumming because he's a drummer.
Mm.
All of the guitars are programmed.
Yeah, yeah,
It's insane. It sounds crazy. It sounds awesome. But he's very open about the fact this is all MIDI programmed. I'm a
mm.
drummer.
Yeah.
But it doesn't change the integrity of the music because it's still compositionally what he wanted to represent. So I think there's a lot of like there's a bigger conversation to have about like composition versus AI versus your creative input because then you're also going to remember like how many people make a career still making shit tons of money in Europe off classical music that they didn't write and it's 400 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be like Andre Rieu. Oh no, he's the biggest piece of shit in the world. I'm like, well,
Like they're talented people. I grew up in the
well,
classical music scene and like the reality is that's what you do in classical music, but it doesn't make it less does it make you less talented for only playing other people's compositions and you interpret parts of it?
yeah. Mhm.
So do you see what I mean? It becomes a
Yeah, yeah.
larger conversation point because you get into this like kind of larger scale discussion of composition versus creation versus performance versus artistic intent. Like if people can go and watch it live and they enjoy it,
Then what's it? Yeah.
is that enough? I think it
Yeah.
is in a lot of cases. But you need to be super transparent, super honest about it, and people need to understand what they're spending their money on, particularly in a day and age where everything is cooked, everything's going up except our incomes. Um, and we're all sitting here going and kind of going, well, you know, this is that much now, this is that much, and it's like, well, yeah, if you someone who's passionate about music and you want to spend money, you need to know where that's coming from.
Yeah. Mate, this has been rad, Tom. Thank you very much for your time today, dude. And
No, thank you. I appreciate you letting me jump in.
easy, man. I'll edit this up and tag you up and we'll go from there. So be good to yourself, man. We'll talk to you soon.
You too, brother. Stay safe. Look after yourself.